Alright, this is your 9-2 notes. This is solving quadratic equations by graphing. We are going to get a lot of decimals, and this is pretty much all calculator. There's a lot of calculator steps in here. So, a couple things though that I want to go through first. One is I want to explain a way to remember all of these names, and that is by rocks. So R, I'm going to put O here, kind of a little bit lower, X and S. Okay, so the R stands for roots. This O stands for zeros. Whoops, did not want to do that. X is for x-intercept. S is for solution. So if you see any of those words, all that it's meaning is it wants to know what the answer is whenever we solve a quadratic. So it can say ask for the roots, ask for the zeros, ask for the x-intercept, or ask for the solutions. So there's three things that you can see that I'm going to mark over here. Okay, so one thing that you will see, so I'm going to put here number 1, is you will see a graph that looks like this. Okay, so here's your x and y axis. You have a quadratic. It crosses the x-axis twice. What this means is that you would have two solutions. Okay, another like scenario you would see is when you have a quadratic and it touches the x-axis just once. You would have one solution. And the last thing that you would have, so the third situation you would have, is when you have a quadratic that never touches the x-axis. So here you would have no solution. And I'm kind of out of space, so there's my little n, no solution. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at these graphs and decide the answers to these problems if there is a solution. If there's not, we'll write no solution. So number 1, first thing we're going to do on number 1 is I'm going to type in that equation in y equals. So y equals x squared plus 7x plus 9. I'm going to look at my table and I'm going to plot my points. So I can start plotting. Let's see, -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, +3, 1, 2, 3. I can plot that point. So when I do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So there's 1 point. I can plot -5, -1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. -4, -3. So whoops. So I have 4, -3, 1, 2, 3. Then I have -3, -3, so -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3. Then we have -2, -1, -2, -1. Then I have -1, +3, 1, 2, 3. And then we have, after that, we would have 0, 9. That's not on the graph, so I'm going to connect my dots. Okay, so your answer for these problems are somewhere in here and here. So one answer is between -1 and -2. The other answer is between, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -5 and -6. Okay, I'm going to show you how to find these answers on your calculator. Well, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to tell you. So we have two answers, x equals this and x equals that. So what I'm going to do is you're going to hit graph. Okay, you should see your graph on your calculator. You hit second trace. And first you're going to look at the first 0 on the left side. So you have to go left bound. So your blinky should be over here. Here's left bound. Put your blinky over there. So, oh, sorry, I skipped a step. Second trace. There you go. And you want to do 0. So second trace 2. Now we want left bound. Left bound, you want to be above and hit enter. And then you go right bound. So move the arrow, hit enter. So your right bound is somewhere down here. Then you hit enter one more time because it says guess. And we're going to round just to the nearest tenth. So this would be -5.3. Okay, we're going to do it again. So second trace, 2. Left bound for the other 0. We're going to keep on going by using the arrow. Left bound is here this time, and right bound is above. And you hit enter, enter after guess, and we'll round this to -1.7. And that's it. Alright, number 2, y equals, we have x squared minus x minus 4. I'm going to go ahead and look at my table to plot my points. I can't plot that. I can start plotting at -2, +2. 1, 2. -1 and -2. 0, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have 1, negative 4. Then I'll have 2, negative 2. And then we'll have 3, 2. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and connect my dots. Okay, draw my arrows. So I know my answer is somewhere here between negative 1 and negative 2. And somewhere here between 1, 2, 3, or sorry, 2 and 3. Okay, so to find those answers, what I'm going to do, and I'll put my answers over here. Okay, so I'm going to use my calculator again. So first, I'm going to go ahead and hit graph. And then I'm going to make sure, okay, there we go. There's my graph. Then I'm going to hit second trace, 0. Then I need the left bound of my first 0. So use your arrows, hit enter, right bound, use your arrows, hit enter. So left bound's above, right bound is below. It says guess, you hit enter one more time. This first one is negative 1.6. Second trace, again, 0, left bound. So I'm going to move it over to where you're right below. Hit enter, move it right above, hit enter. There's my right bound, and it's going to say guess, you hit enter one more time, and this one's going to be 2.6. And that's it. Alright, number 3, we have y equals x squared. So x squared minus 4x plus 6. We'll look at my table, plot my points. So let's see, the first point I can plot looks like 0, 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can plot 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can plot 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. I can plot 3, 3. So 3, 1, 2, 3. 4 is 6. And 5 is 11, which is off the graph. So here's my parabola, my quadratic equation graphed, and I'm going to go ahead and on this one, I already know my answer because neither one of these cross the x-axis because this is where you always look. So since it didn't cross the x-axis, your answer here is no solution. Alright, number 4. So I'm going to do number 4. You have y equals, we have x squared minus 4x minus 1. I'm going to look at my table. I can't do negative 2, 11. I could do negative 1, positive 4. So negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4. 0, negative 1. 1, negative 4. So 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. 2, negative 5. So 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 4, negative 5. And then it repeats. So 3, negative 4. And then 4, negative 1. And then 5, 4. Go ahead and connect my dots and draw my arrows, and what I have to look for is where it crosses the x-axis. So here it's between 0 and negative 1, and on the right side it's at 1, 2, 3, between 4 and 5. So we're just going to use our calculator. Make sure you have it graphed. There's my graph, and then I'm going to hit second trace, 0. So my left side is here, right side's below. So left side enter, right side enter, guess enter. So this is at negative 0.24. And then for the other one, your left side's below, right side is above. So second trace, 0. Left bound is right below it. Right bound is right above it. And then we're going to hit guess. And so whenever I do this, my answer comes out to 4.2. And it should make sense because we just said that that 0 should be between 4 and 5. Well, 4.2 is between 4 and 5. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just skip down to the last row because it's the same exact thing for number 5 and number 6. So here we go. Number 7, you have y equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. Look at my table to plot my points. I can go ahead and, let's see, I can plot negative 6, positive 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 6, positive 6, and negative 5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Negative 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 3, 0. Negative 2, 2. So now it starts repeating. Negative 1, 6. And then 0, that one's off the graph. Okay, so I'm going to connect my dots. Alright, and here's the lovely thing about this problem. if you can tell, these are already on the x-axis. Then they're perfect points, they're whole numbers, so my answer will be x is equal to, we have -4 for one, and the other one, x is equal to -3. All right, number 8. Now, if you want to, you can still go through the whole second trace thing, and it's just going to come out -4, and it's going to come out -3. All right, we have y equals x squared minus x minus 12. I'm going to look at my table first. I cannot plot anything until, let's see, can I plot -4, 8? Nope. -3, 0 I can plot. All right, so my first point that I can plot is -3, 0. So that's going to be right in here. I can plot -2, -6. So that's right in here. 0, or sorry, -1, -10. So -1, -10 is right in here. 0, -12. 1, -12. So now we're starting to kind of repeat. 2, -10. 3, -6. 4, 0. And 5 is at 8, which is off the chart. So my graph's going to go something like this. Draw my arrows. Okay, and again, the wonderful thing about this is I already have my answers. I don't have to do second trace. If you want to do the second trace, you can. But I already know because of my table, it tells me that when x was equal to the -3, I was at a 0. And when x was equal to the +4, my y value is at a 0. So those are my two answers. All right, last one that we're going to do is x squared minus 4x plus 5 is equal to 0. So I'm going to look at my table. Let's see, cannot graph that. I can graph my first point at 0, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 1, 2, so 1, 1, 2. Then we have 2, 1, so 1, 2, 1. And then I have 3, 2. And then I'll have 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5, 10 is off the chart. So here's my graph. And again, I'm looking to see if it ever crosses the x-axis. So as you can tell, it doesn't. So your answer here is no solution. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and just write down here, if you don't have it written down already. It's second trace. You want to hit, once you get there, you want to hit the number 2, which is 0. And when you do that, you have to go the left bound. So I'm just going to abbreviate that. You're going to have to go left bound, then you go to the right bound, and then it says guess. And you do that 2 times. And that's how you get your answer. So you have x equals something and x equals something. All right, so that is it for your 9-2 notes.